Passionate about music.
I am very excited. I'm actually holding an Olympic silver medal. The owner of is the Olympic medalist and winning Olympian, Jai Wallace, joins me now. Hello, Jai. Welcome to Gaydar.
G'day. Thank you very much.
This is fantastic. I'm just holding this up to our camera so people can see it.
Yeah.
That is an actual Olympic. This is massive. It's quite heavy as well.
It is. It's actually real silver.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the Australian medals that they made for Sydney were actually real silver, and the gold was actually silver plated in gold.
Right.
Right. And the bronze is actually real money. It's the old 1 and 2 cent pieces melted down and made into the bronze medals.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So they've all got a story behind them.
I bet they have. Well, what's the story behind you? Tell us what you are an Olympic champion for.
Lord. Well, I actually came second in Sydney for the trampoline event. So it's a gymnastic event. And Sydney actually hosted the first trampoline event, which was pretty amazing because it means it was my first Olympics. Trampoline made its debut and it was at home in Sydney. So it was just brilliant.
How did you get into trampolining in the first place?
Well, in Australia, many Australian homes have pools in the backyard, but they also have trampolines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a tradition, is it?
Yeah. So there's many trampolines out there, but not many people realise it's got to the Olympics and an Olympic event. So I've been doing it for, 20 years or more.
So you started out as a kid just doing it for fun, did you?
All the neighbourhood kids were jumping on trampolines, mucking around, falling through the springs, putting their dogs on trampolines, wetting them down and sliding off, doing all the ridiculous stuff. So my mum thought it was a little bit dangerous, so she took me up to the local PYC, and I just happened to like getting into a leotard and jumping up and down.
So how does this kind of training behind that go? What sort of things do you have to do?
For many years, it wasn't in the Olympics, so it was very much a self-funded sport.
Right.
So we paid for everything. So it was only, at the beginning, you only went up on a Tuesday night and a Thursday night, and you went to a couple of competitions a year. But as I got better very, very fast, I made the Queensland state team, I made the national team. So training intensified, and it got to the point where before the Olympics, we were training up to 10 sessions a week, and we're training probably anywhere between 25 to 30 hours.
Really?
Yeah, so it definitely takes that professional level, but unfortunately the funding doesn't go with it, so most of the trampolinists around the world are poor suckers like myself.
And did because it obviously wasn't originally an Olympic sport, what was your ambition with it then originally?
Way back when I first started, I remember one of my first memories of being a little kid is actually of the Moscow Olympics in 1980, of the dancing bear and some of the gymnastics and the placards that were changing in the crowd during the athletics and the opening ceremony. So Olympics has always been in my blood.
Right.
And being a part of sport, I've always wanted to go to the Olympic Games. So being an Australian champion and going to World Championships, winning a World Championships in 1996 in Vancouver and setting a world record in 1998 in Sydney in a double mini event was actually, everything was just going well. And it happened at that same event in 1998. The IOC actually decided to accept trampoline as an Olympic event, and it went from there.
Wow, you must have been so excited to know that you were then working towards the Olympics.
I was peeing my pants. It was ridiculous. Australian Gymnastics actually hired a Russian coach. He was coaching world champions, and they actually hired him to bring him out in 1999, and my life changed from there. So
yeah, I bet it did. And Sydney 2000, what a place to kick off your own country.
Of course, it was just crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, qualifying for an Olympic Games or going to an Olympic Games is amazing in itself, but doing it at home like the British are doing now, doing it at home in Sydney was just something special. It was super. On top of super, it was just magical, absolutely magical.
And also then to win, I'm just going to show it up again to the camera, to win the medal as well. Look at that.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Well, that's the way I keep my lovers. I always come second.
So just tell us a little bit more about then your involvement. You've come over here. Are you a participant this year, or you're just here to sort of enjoy and lap up London 2012?
Well, I was actually on a bit of a world tour, so I visited LA and New York just before coming here, and I'm actually a guest of the Pride House, which is at the Limehouse Basin, and I've been an ambassador for the Federation of the Gay Games for a very long time, and I thought, while I'm here, why don't I do some work for them, do some promotions for them. It's being hosted by a number of different gay and lesbian sports associations federations from around the world, and it's going to be a celebration and a sports event all in one, so we can promote the next events coming up over the next couple of years, especially the Federation of the Gay Games, which is going to happen in Cleveland 2014.
Is this just for LGBT athletes, or can anybody come along to these?
Of course, anybody can come along, and the Federation of the Gay Games and the Gay and Lesbian Sports Associations are all inclusive, so it's for gay people and their friends.
Right, okay. And how big an organisation is this?
It's actually, the event itself is bigger than the Olympics.
No, really?
Yeah, there's up to 15,000 competitors
all
that
those
come
gay
in.
athletes together.
Can you imagine?
I bet you had the time of your life.
I actually haven't been to a Gay Games yet. I haven't participated. I went to the Sydney Gay Games, which was 2002, and got really involved and really excited about the whole event then. So I decided to become an ambassador, and in 2014, when I go home from this event, I'm going to actually grab a couple of mates and my boyfriend, and we're going to try and make the Sydney Stingers team, get into the water polo.
Really?
Yeah, get in there and swim with the boys and try and qualify and go across to Cleveland.
All those fit men together, it must be amazing.
Well, there's fit men and fit women. I tell you what, there's some amazing athletes, and they take it very seriously. And thank the Lord, they actually can qualify a world record at these events. They're sanctioned events. So if a world record is set, then the world record stands.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And how many disciplines are there? Is it the same as the Olympics?
You know, to be honest, off the top of my head, I can't remember how many disciplines, and they're not all Olympic events. You know, trampoline, unfortunately, is not represented.
Oh, no.
No.
No bouncing up and down for you.
No, but you know, there's gay-friendly events like same-sex dancing. Yeah,
I love the sound of this.
Yeah. So there's
So you can win a medal for dancing.
You can.
Oh, that's fair. I want to win a medal for dancing.
I'm sure you pirouette and slide around the floor very well.
Oh, I don't know. And I should imagine when you're sat there watching it, it must bring lots of amazing memories back of your own experience of being in there.
Of course. And watching the British athletes get so involved, and the British crowd get so involved and so emotional about fourth place, third place, second place, winning medals, winning gold medals, participating, and the crowd encouraging not only the GB athletes but everybody from around the world. It does. I can't help but get choked up, and I can't help but get teary-eyed. I'm starting to do it now, just thinking about it. It's so exciting. It's just amazing, and it brings together the world, really, doesn't it? So it's something that the rest of the world, for the rest of the time, other than the 2 weeks of the Olympic Games, really should take on board. Into that.
And how about as being a gay man? You came out in 2005, I think it was. Obviously, there you are in the Olympics in 2000, but you're sort of kind of, presumably people knew that you were gay, but you just weren't openly.
Right. It wasn't the fact that I wasn't openly gay. It just announcing it or being gay and being open about it wasn't my concentration. It wasn't my life. It still is not my life. I'm a gay man. I'm a proud gay man, but it's still not. It doesn't define who I am. It still doesn't pick and choose the direction that I take in life. So it really didn't do that then either. I was an athlete first and foremost. I had that to concentrate on. So my social life, my family, my friends, my work, finances, all of that really took a back seat to competing at the Olympic Games. So
did they know though? Did they know at the time when you were doing? Did they know you were gay?
I think people know anyway, don't they?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
But your choice to come out, did that make things different at that point for you?
Not for me.
No.
Not for me, because it's personal. It doesn't necessarily mean that you become more famous or you become more able to go somewhere or do things or have access to things. It just meant that I was inspiring somebody else to do what they wanted to do, and it doesn't matter what background you come from, what part of society you associate with, whatever you want to do, you can do. It doesn't matter if you're gay or not.
Do you think it's more difficult though for guys? Because we noticed, we had a list the other day of all the gay Olympians this year, I think for the British team, and there are a lot of lesbians who've come out, but only 2 or 3 men, you know.
Right.
Do you think that's will change?
I don't know, and to be honest, I really don't think at this particular time in somebody's life, it doesn't drive them. It doesn't matter, because they're athletes first. They want to drive and succeed first, and everything else does take a back seat. So if somebody chooses to come out before an Olympic Games or before a major event or before a superstar or a celebrity decides to reveal their sexuality, all the power to them. But if they don't, all the power to them, because it's their own choice. And if they want to, they can. If they don't, they shouldn't be disregarded, or they shouldn't be lambasted for not doing it, because something else is taking control. Something else is their focus.
And well, listen, just to conclude, thank you very much for coming in to see us. I'm just going to hold up the medal once again. This is the silver that you got in Sydney 2000. When you're stood on that podium and they're putting this around your neck, what do you feel? What's going on inside you?
I was nervous and I was excited, and the crowd was roaring and cheering, and it was an amazing time for me. The damn Russian that beat me, I actually sang the Australian national anthem to the Russian national anthem. I was singing the
Really
Vets
loud.
Australia Fair while the Russian national anthem was going on, because it was such a moment, and no matter what I do for the rest of my life, nothing will quite equal that on that capacity.
Yeah.
Other things will be very special and very important and amazing, but nothing will be quite like that moment.
Well, listen, Jai Wallace, it's an absolute treat to meet you. Thanks for talking to Gaydar.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Passionate about music.